I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Days of Future Cast, the We're Confused edition, where we talk about Avengers versus X-Men tie-ins that may or may not be ahead of other tie-ins in the timeline. We're reading Secret Avengers number 27. Gary, you have a theory on how all of this stuff works.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to present that for our readers?
Well, the Nintendo 64 stores a series of half A presses.
When you sorry, we seem to be having some technical difficulties. Come back next week, everybody.
No, I just this all happens before, so I think that if we were doing this over again, right, we would just read all 3 Secret Avengers in a row.
Okay,
I think it's supposed to be a short amount of time takes place for those issues, and everything with the Avengers that we read last week and that we're doing after this all take place afterwards.
Yeah.
So this is part 2 of 3 of a story about a version of Novar coming back and the Kree getting mind controlled. In the next issue that we're talking about, which is Avengers 27, the Kree have been solved of their mind control, but they're dealing with the after effects of Novar betraying them, Novar betraying them because of this mind control, or because he was under the influence of the Supreme Intelligence or some shit like that.
Yeah.
We're just reading them out of order.
Yeah.
Because the app and chronological order and the comic book resources, all of the things steered us wrong.
Yes.
We looked through multiple sources. None of them tell a coherent order.
We're going to take this up with Comic Book Herald, and we're going to be really mad at those guys over there for doing such a public service as making a bunch of lists for us.
Yeah. It was free, but I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I paid $0 and I want my money back.
Yeah. So this is, if you remember the last issue of Secret Avengers we covered, which was a long time ago, the Secret Avengers, which is like Thor, Beast, Captain Britain, and War Machine, Miss Marvel, Novar went up to space to try to harness the Phoenix. They largely failed, but they managed to grab a little bit of Phoenix in a backpack.
Yes.
This is before that part, before they take the second try. This is when Novar has betrayed them, because they've resurrected Captain Marvel to hang out and serve the Kree Supreme Intelligence.
Yeah.
And largely an issue about the internal monologue of Novar. Or not Novar, Marvel. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And features on the first panel where he's remembering himself dying of cancer, a rare tailless Nightcrawler. You notice that they forgot to draw Nightcrawler's tail?
Oh, no. Poor Nightcrawler, or that could be isn't the Age of Apocalypse Nightcrawler? He doesn't have a tail, right? Like they got cut off in
he
in
certainly
the war
has a tail
or something.
No, he has a tail. I would love it if he didn't have a whole tail, but he just had a little nub that scooted back and forth.
Poor guy's been through the wars. Poor guy.
Yeah,
come here.
He just wags when he's happy. Like, it would make Nightcrawler 20% cuter.
I'm gonna call you Patches for no reason, just because it's cute. Marvel's remembering his, dying. I don't remember this in the comics at all. I wasn't around. I didn't read any of this stuff.
From the 70s.
Okay.
70s and 80s. This is a very old comic.
But he died of cancer, which seems horrifying. Like a real, like a too real kind of comic book situation. Like, come on, guys. Mm-hmm. We don't need to, you don't need to sexually assault Carol Danvers and give Captain Marvel cancer. Like, what are you doing to these poor cosmic Marvel people? Like, Jesus Christ.
It was at the time it came out, it was a really, was considered very brave. Like, people love this comic. And the reason why, first of all, it's one of the early big Thanos things. And then, secondly, because it was so subversive, have somebody fight monsters all day and then succumb to something very pedestrian.
Yeah.
People loved this. Again, I've never read it. It's a classic, don't at me. I also, in this little panel of them all watching on the bed, I didn't notice this, but, Ant-Man is sitting on Beast's shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Ant-Man, how he chooses which shoulders to ride on.
I mean, I'm assuming it's whoever doesn't notice at the time, right?
Anyone who has fur who maybe won't feel it.
The whole group is very funny to me because I barely remember any of the X-Men interacting with Marvel. So the fact that we have a bunch of X-Men, like Colossus is there. Like, oh, okay. I bet he's very sad about some dude from space.
Duh. If I had to choose, he would be a Tovarish. But his monologue is he died and he didn't want to come back.
Yes.
Like, he liked the peace. He remembered his friends caring for him. And he remembered Thanos laughing as he died. He had no reason to come back, but then he was brought back anyway, by the Kree. The whole idea, brought back wrong.
Yes.
Like, he's been pet cemeteried somehow. We cut over again. Like, I love this art, this Guedes art of him doing the sailor like dip kiss.
Yes.
To Captain Marvel, while Novar like gets down on his hands and knees to worship him.
And this should be our first sign that something is going drastically wrong. Like, we don't know about the mind control stuff yet, but it's definitely happening.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a really uncanny image. It doesn't seem like stuff that these superheroes would do. It's great. We cut over to Beast using a defibrillator on Rhodey.
Yep.
Bringing him back
to life while like bandaged up Thor and Captain Britain are hanging out. Captain Britain is still beating himself up pretty bad for being such a fuck up, and Thor is trying to encourage him in various strategies, one of which is like, no, you're good, you're a noble man. And then when that doesn't work, he's like, all right, you gotta just stop. Like, you can't
quit this.
I don't really have a lot of time for Captain Britain shit right now. Okay, I'm Thor. Get done with this already.
I cannot handle the ego of Captain Britain seeing this happen, be like, yeah, fortunately not all of us are incompetent. As like his friend just had his life saved on the table. Like, get over yourself for 2 fucking seconds. Ego.
Fucking crazy, dude. Like, imagine being this guy. It's impossible. I do not like Captain Britain. He shows up in a bunch of the Uncanny X-Force stuff that I've read recently and just comes off like a total fucking asshole the entire time.
He's a real douche.
Yeah.
Luckily they get interrupted by the Marvels. So Captain Marvel, Marvel, and then Novar show up, busting their way in, and we're still getting this internal monologue from Marvel, where he's like he still kind of sees these people, he understands who these people are, but he's being influenced. Protect the land that grew you, kill these foreigners. And Thor immediately sees through it. He thinks it's a shapeshifter or some shit.
Yes.
Like, you've chosen a bad form. You will die because this is disrespectful to my old friend.
And that doesn't work because Marvel just punches that motherfucker through a wall and then comes through and starts laying waste to just about everybody. And he even, like, as he's coming through, he's like, oh, hey, Hank, good to see you. And, Beast is like, oh, you're not real, and just immediately kicks that dude in the face, which is very funny to me.
Super good. And this is, I think the dialogue here is real good. I remember you slaving day and night to cure my cancer, because of that intention, you've earned a clean death. Yeah. Like, he's stuck between these two different forms. Vision tries to stop him with his intangibility punch that he does not work because Captain Marvel is apparently a very big deal. Valkyrie gets kicked in the stomach immediately, knocked out. And she's like, why are you betraying us, Avengers? Captain Marvel and, or Miss Marvel and Novar. And they're saying, no, we're just being loyal. Like, we're Kree. Like, we're not Avengers.
Yeah.
This is Kree shit. So they capture the Avengers, blow up their ship here.
Whoops.
And strand them
here. Fortunately, Beast and Thor and Vision made it out, so they are not dead. Honestly, these comic books would be a lot better if everybody died at the end of every issue. Like, it would just be a lot more fun for me personally, not for anybody else. And then we go into this like long Supreme Intelligence thing. I like the Supreme Intelligence, like as an idea, as a concept. I'm reading a bunch of Fantastic Four right now, so I'm in that like Hickman Fantastic Four era where they like resurrect the Supreme Intelligence. And without a lot of like background in this, it's super fucking confusing. Like, I feel like if you took like half the chapters out of Game of Thrones, that's what I feel like I'm reading sometimes, of just not knowing who people are.
Yeah, I will go as far on a limb and say the Kree are pretty fucking confusing.
Okay, well, at least I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I think the Kree are, unless you're like very invested in the Kree, it's some real 70s Marvel space opera stuff that I do not know very much about. So, agreed.
And the Supreme Intelligence is basically like, hey, yo, that guy that you like is back, and he's going to...
the gum you like is back in action. Yeah,
he's going to, basically allow us to rule the world. Like, he's going to stave off the invasion of human interlopers, and he's going to protect us against the Phoenix and all this other stuff.
And Vision sees this, and Vision is the one who realizes something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He's detecting some kind of weird hum, that's some kind of mind control, and the Phoenix is on its way.
Yeah.
And the Kree are courting this. They want it with open arms. We cut over to the losers who were not given to be put in, we're going to be executed by Phoenix. Here, they're in a cage. Captain Britain, Valkyrie, and Rhodey, who just got defibrillated. Like, poor Rhodey. And he's just like, what did you guys do? While I was asleep. It was like, well, yeah, the ship blew up and we're in a cage.
Yeah. A bunch of people betrayed us. We're going to be executed by the Phoenix. And also, Iceman sent a text, your taxes are due. It's weird.
Iceman sent a text. Your FICO score just went down, man. Whenever you die, your FICO score goes down in the Marvel universe. It's no good.
I have a credit monitoring service that like sends me notifications about my credit, and I get like that exact email of like, congratulations, Jeremy, your credit score is higher. And I'm just now
your
imagining that in like
off.
Iceman's voice at all times.
Yeah, with the special like icicle font that he sends everything
yes, in. Exactly.
And we ragged on Iceman doing taxes last issue. I would love it if Iceman did my taxes.
Chill out on your spending, Jeremy.
Yeah. Can you imagine just like 1,000 Icemen just all doing taxes?
Oh man, I'm kind of into this idea now. Like, where is this at? Somebody take this over, please.
Like, I don't know I'm trying to think of the most badass like fiscal term that sounds badass but isn't for a miniseries.
Okay, let's see.
So like Iceman, Deadly Audit, or something like that.
There you go. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Iceman in arrears.
Yeah. We cut over to Marvel and Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, here in this tower, talking, and it's they do a good. Rick Remender does a great job of making this very uncanny.
Yes,
like it is clear that something's going wrong with these people's brains here. Carol is kind of reaching for her memories, saying like, she like watched the tapes that he left behind over and over. He's, confirming that the Phoenix Force has frozen his cancer in place. They're going to be fine. He's not going to leave again.
Yep.
And we get this little bit, of Marvel being terrified of being forgotten. That being his main thing. She says, I remember I listened to those tapes. I loved you as a friend, but now, and then she just like makes out with him like romantic love as the Phoenix is flying in and some sinister dude is watching this on a monitor. So
you've been mentioning the like the art in this a lot. And it's not often that I get like real appreciative of the coloring. Like I just don't have the eye for it sometimes. But man, the coloring in this panel by itself is really nice. Just like the different hues coming off of the Phoenix, the different hues in the city behind them and below them. Like it's just a really pretty panel.
It's really painterly.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like I love this artist. This is hands down the best art in the crossover.
It's the Skyward Sword of Secret Avengers panels.
the very beautiful. We go to the surviving Avengers who are like, okay, this is what we have to do. We have to break our friends out. We have to evacuate this planet of mind controlled Kree. Before this happens, so we can save this planet. And they're saying like, what do we do with our old companions? And Thor is like, we do what's necessary. They betrayed us. We can't tell if their minds are free or if we can free their minds, but it's more important to just get through them.
Yeah.
Kind of regardless.
God, the free their minds and the rest will follow. Just, he was right there with the good reference and it just, Thor doesn't know Vogue, I guess. It's a shame.
It'd be very weird if Thor started quoting in Vogue.
You think so? I feel like he would be down. Like the MCU Thor would definitely get down within Vogue.
Well, you know how like other countries a lot of times are, a couple decades behind America in terms of music.
Sure. Yeah.
Because of our cultural imports, I can imagine Asgard being like several decades behind.
Sure. Yeah. And it's all like, they're just getting blue jeans. Is that what you're saying? Like that's that thing?
Yeah. Like Thor, like thou isn't me. like just like getting all of the hits of the 90s. Basically.
Was it this issue that was named God Hope? Because maybe this was Thor's fault that he's just 20 years behind on his advertising.
Just on all the thing. Thor will smite that Geico lizard. Yeah. So Vision shows up, starts broadcasting to the Kree, like, get out of here.
Yeah. And it works. They start fleeing in terror until Mar-Vell like shoots him down, and then it's time for a fight. So he punches Thor. Nor is like asking them to come peacefully, and Captain Marvel is there also saying the same thing, and it's time for some smashy with Thor and Mar-Vell, and eventually like it just becomes like he literally just smashes this dude in the face with his hammer.
I love it. I will smash my friend's face off of your skull.
That's what a great line.
Like, it's fucking incredible. Yeah, very good. And again, talking up this art, like they're not drawing Thor as some kind of ridiculous, grotesque He-Man.
Yeah,
here he's got the superpower, but he doesn't look like a meat golem. He just looks like a strong guy.
Yeah,
doing this, it makes it cooler.
If you want meat golem, just stay tuned for Avengers number 27 because there's a lot of meat golem in that issue.
Gonna home of the thick Thor. So Marvel ends up getting the upper hand.
Yes.
At this point, he zaps him with his nega bands, his wristbands, makes him drop his hammer. And he at this point has a conflict because he goes and he finds all the civilians that Vision told to run away. The regular rank and file Kree soldiers shot them all down.
Whoops.
Yep. Like it's like, hey, they were trying to. They've been disrupted. They've been seen to, and this kind of snaps them out of the mind control.
It seems to
is the idea. Yeah, we don't get to find out until next issue, but that's the assumption here.
And that's it. That's this issue. I am still pretty bored with all of this plot line. I'm sad that like Beast and is kind of caught up at all of this because I think he'd be more fun on Earth at this point. But sometimes Cosmic Marvel can really. It takes a lot for me to get into it. And I don't know. Some of this Kree stuff and Mar-Vell and Marvel and Noah and all this other stuff, I'm just like, okay, well, sure, whatever.
In general, I've never loved Cosmic Marvel stuff. And I understand that's a big part of it. Mm-hmm. Like that's a big part of it. But it even like, I like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and the cosmic stuff that's happened in the movies just fine. Yeah. But it's not my favorite. I am always going to prefer Earth.
I was pleasantly surprised by how much I liked the MCU cosmic stuff because when they were like saying like, oh, we're going to do the Guardians, I was like, fucking really? Like how? Like how are you going to make that like jive with this kind of like street level superhero stuff that you've got going with the Avengers? And it's like I've been way more into cosmic MCU stuff than I have been ever in the actual comic books. So,
Yeah. Same, but I'd still prefer the Earth shit.
Sure.
That is true. But I also still rather deal with, J. Jonah Jameson and
I would rather WandaVision the movie than Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yes.
Right. So
yeah, same. Like creators aside, right? Like James Gunn is going to do a good job on that. It's going to be fun and fun.
Oh, I want James Gunn to make WandaVision the movie. Like let's just commit.
There we go. There we go. Yeah. I had a friend who I was going to watch Suicide Squad with who watched it without me. Mm-hmm. Which means I can watch it now whenever I find the time when I feel like watching a DC movie. Okay. And I'm excited just because it's supposed to be pretty fun.
It is. Me and Autumn watched it that weekend that it came out. And she had never seen any of the previous Suicide Squad movies or any of the Harley Quinn movies or anything like that. So she was going into it and she had a great time. She was like, this was fun. She was like, I liked Harley Quinn. I was like, do you want to watch the movie? She's like, not really. I'm like, okay, cool.
No, let's not go too crazy here.
Yeah, let's not like overreach ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I get it. Yeah. So it's I'm gonna watch that at some point because I do like James Gunn.
Yeah.
That's gonna be it for this issue and episode. Next episode, we're going to be talking about Avengers number 27, which takes place well after this issue and after the next issue of this comic, because Marvel Unlimited totally fucked up.
Yep.
If you want to support us and support the network, go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ratings, reviews, telling your friends, all those things are very appreciated. And take care until next time.
Yeah. Stay safe, everybody. We love you. Bye.
Yeah.